Hey guys, really quick before we start today's video, I want to make a quick announcement to you guys. So over the next couple months, I'm going to be drastically cutting down on my work schedule. Over these last few years, I've worked like 60, 70-hour weeks sometimes and tried to run this channel, and I just have not been able to do a lot of the stuff that I want to do on the channel, obviously, because all my time is occupied doing other things. So I'm excited to say that over these next few months and into the summer, we are really going to be ramping it up here on the channel and finally going to be able to do a lot of that stuff that I've wanted to do in the past and just haven't had time. You've never really heard me plug my Patreon or my PayPal or get on here and ask you guys to support me over there. I have a few people who do, and I'm really grateful for you guys. But today's the day that I'm going to shamelessly plug that, because I really want to try and make this transition as seamless as possible and continue making the best videos that I can for you guys. That's really the only reason why I do this stuff. So if you like the videos and you want to support the channel, now is definitely the time. I would really appreciate it. Links for all that stuff is down in the description box below, and I'm looking forward to these next few months. Hopefully you guys are as well. Thanks. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Thank you for watching. Today's video is going to be mostly fun, not too scientific, but I'm really looking forward to this, and I think that you guys are going to enjoy this video as well. So the star of today's show is this bad boy, the Taurus Ultralight 44 Magnum Revolver. Now, I bought this several months ago from Ultralight Tactical, a big supporter of the channel, and ever since I've wanted to just bring this thing out and do maximum destruction with it, because that is what this gun is best at. We've done a few videos, but nothing like what we're gonna do today. So I've shot a bunch of 44 Magnums over the years, I would say. The recoil is something that I'm pretty familiar with. It doesn't bother me with most 44 Magnums, but the Ultralight that this thing has in its name is what sets it apart from other 44 Magnums, because let me tell you, this thing is an absolute hand cannon, and you're gonna see that in today's video. So I've got a ton of stuff to shoot. Don't want to talk too much. Let's just get right into it. All right, so I have a truck bed full of really fun stuff we're gonna shoot today, and what I want to do is set up different things and shoot different 44 Magnums into each of them and kind of compare the results as we go. All right, let's start with some paper. First up, we have an American Eagle hollow point. All right, since the 44 Magnum is such a big, heavy bullet, I don't think it'll go through any more than 2, but just in case, I have 4 bricks of paper up there. Haven't shot this thing in a while. Let's see if we can shake off the cobwebs. It's always pretty painful. All right, so you can see where it went into the first brick of paper, passed through the first one, into the second one, and did not come out the back of that second brick. All right, so the American Eagle was a 240 grain hollow point. Let's try a 180 grain hollow point going 1,750 feet per second. Quite a bit faster than the last one. Quite a bit louder too. All right, our 180 grain bullet went in right there, just to the left of the first one that we shot. And you can see on the backside here, I did quite a bit more damage coming through. It probably just combined the 2 holes, honestly. And once again, nothing came out of the back of that second brick of paper. So they are both, there's a piece of the jacket right there, but they are both either in the first or the second brick. Whoa. Well, there is a big chunk of our 240 grain bullet, and it actually looks like our 180 grain bullet, at least most of it, oh, get off of there, is right here, just on the front of that second brick of paper. So really, they almost both stopped in the first brick of paper, but barely knocking on the door of that second brick. Again, it's such a big, heavy bullet, that's kind of what I expected. After hearing how incredibly loud that last round was, I want to try the old pistol silencer trick and see if it cuts down on that noise at all, using the exact same round that we just shot a minute ago. So there's our entrance hole on the front of that pillow and our exit hole right there. I'll be interested to hear the footage back, because to me, it sounded pretty loud still, not a huge difference. Of course, holding it one-handed probably isn't the best way to do that either. If you could really push the barrel of that gun down in there, it's probably gonna sound a little better. All right, now it's time for the ridiculously random target segment that we seem to have in every video. And this is one that I've never tried before, but I've always wanted to, and that is bubble wrap, or bubble cushioning if you're poor, and you have to get the generic. So on the table here, we have 5 rolls of 16-inch by 60-foot bubble cushioning, and this stuff is pretty dense, and every time I go to the store and I see bubble wrap, I always want to shoot it and see how much of it takes to stop a bullet. So today we're going to test it with the 44 Magnum. Maybe down the road we'll shoot this stuff with some other calibers if you guys are interested in seeing that. But 44 Magnum versus bubble wrap. Let's do it. All right, for this one we are shooting the 225 grain Hornady Ftx. This is a mean little sucker. Let's see what it does. I'm predicting 3rd roll of bubble wrap is where we'll stop this one. I think I was wrong because I'm pretty sure I saw stuff come out the back of the 5th. All right, we'll look at that one here in a second, but first, let's try the 240 grain American Eagle soft tip hollow point. See if it's any different. I don't think it is. All right, so our 2 bullet holes are right there, pretty close together towards the top of that first roll. And on the back side, you can see they're not very big, but there's definitely exit and entrance holes there. Same thing there. They actually took a pretty similar path through all of these. Starting to dip down a little bit. We have exit holes there, entrance holes there, and the entrance hole is pretty big right there. And then on the 4th and 5th, you can see our exit hole there and our entrance holes there. And again, they took almost the exact same path through this bubble wrap, came out here, and both hit the table, and I saw chunks of my table and bubble wrap fly off into the distance. So apparently bubble wrap is not good at stopping bullets, not as good at stopping bullets as I thought it would be, but that's why we do these things. All right, next we got watermelons, and since this is a 44 Magnum, I was looking for bigger, juicier melons, but all they had were these little small ones. So we're gonna go ahead and give these a shot. I got 2 different rounds we're gonna test. We have the Hornady Xtp and the Hornady Ftx, and we're just gonna go back to back and see if there's a difference. I'm predicting complete disintegration. Let's see. First up, the Hornady Ftx. As I predicted. And the Hornady Xtp. So honestly, the Xtp was noticeably more dramatic. It threw pieces of the watermelon much further and higher up into the air and rained down on me quite a bit more too, so there actually was a difference. All right, let's see if we can stop a couple of these giant 44 Magnums. So on the table here, I have 2 clear ballistics gel blocks, as always, a new one in the front. It does have wound cavities in it from the 10mm video, but a lot of open space, and then an older one behind that, just in case anything does go all the way through the first one. Once again, I want to thank clearballistics.com for providing the ballistics gel. If you want any for yourself, visit their website and pick it up there, but let's shoot it. Let's start with this bad boy, the 225 grain Ftx. I think this will probably penetrate the furthest, and I don't think I've shot gel with the 44 Magnum since we had the Desert Eagle, so wish me luck. All right, so that one went in right there, and from the side over here, you can actually see that red tip that it has on the front of it. Shed that really early, probably 2 inches into the gel. Got some more bullet fragments in there, and it actually looks like this one curved. Kind of took a right-hand turn and exited our second ballistics gel block right there. Unfortunately, I hate when that happens, but I have a few others that I want to test, so I don't really want to test that one again, but you can see the wound cavity is just absolutely incredible from that thing. It's the big one right there, all the way through the ballistics gel block. Just a humongous wound cavity, which you would expect from the 44 Magnum, but dang it, I hate when they curve and exit the gel like that. All right, this one here is the 240 grain Hornady Xtp. It's just a regular hollow point, super powerful, just like the other one. And once again, just like the last video, my table is about to break in half every time we shoot it, so I don't think it's gonna last too much longer. All right, that second one went in right here on the left-hand side of the ballistics gel block. And over here, you can see the wound cavity. I would say not nearly as impressive as the first one that we shot. Obviously it's impressive, it's a 44 Magnum, but the first one was definitely bigger, and we lost a few bullet fragments. as it went down the gel here, and then this one actually did stop right there, and that second ballistic gel block. So we'll pull that out here in a minute and take a look at it. But really, any 44 Magnum is gonna be insanely impressive in ballistic gel. It's just a devastating round. All right, we'll do one more. This is the 240 grain American Eagle soft tip hollow point. So I'm expecting this one to break apart a little bit more in the gel. Let's see. Try to go towards the bottom half on this one. That table can't take much more. All right, the American Eagle went in right there towards the bottom of the gel block, and this one, it definitely had the smallest wound cavity of the three. You can see it continued down our first gel block. Exited our first block, and I was actually incorrect about it breaking apart, because you can see that it actually stopped in the bottom of that second gel block right there, and that is the damage to our table. That might be what I spend the most money on for the channel, is these dang tables. All right, let's try a good old-fashioned water test. I have 5 1-gallon water jugs on the table down there, and since this is the round that seems to be eluding us, we're gonna shoot the 225 grain Hornady Ftx. See if we can finally stop this thing. I'm predicting a stoppage this time. I don't know what water jug, but hopefully 5 will be enough. Wow. I always underestimate that. Well, I think I got a little wet. As if I wasn't getting cold enough out here already, now I'm soaking wet. But I think we finally stopped this bullet. So our first 2 water jugs ended up on the ground. As you can see, we have one right there and the other one right there. Our third water jug is still on the table, and you can see the entrance hole on the front, and wow. The jacket from that bullet is stuck in the back of that third water jug. That is awesome. And then our actual bullet is right there in the bottom of the fourth. So nothing went into the fifth. Let's go ahead, open this thing up, and see if we can get our bullet. There she is. That is our bullet, completely intact. That's actually pretty freaking cool, dude. I don't know if I've ever seen a jacket completely strip off like that and then get a 100% intact chunk of lead. Sweet. Finally, we trapped that round. I've tried a million different things with this ammo, and it always seems to get away. It's just a nasty little sucker. But today, we finally did it and got to take a look at one. All right, everybody, that is gonna do it for me today. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video on the Taurus Ultralight 44 Magnum Revolver. If you couldn't tell by watching me shoot it, this thing is an absolute hand cannon. I've shot other 44 Magnums in the past, and this one definitely recoils quite a bit harder than any of the others. That lightweight does play a bigger factor than you would think. So some of the stuff we did today was more scientific than others, some of it just having fun, but I haven't got the 44 Magnum out in a really long time, and I was just dying to shoot that thing today. So hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, as always, let me know down in the comments and hit that like button for me, guys. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. All right, let's try this pillow thing one more time. I didn't want to wrap the pillow around the gun because it's a 44 Magnum and it's putting off an insane amount of pressure, but I think that's the only way to really get that silencer effect. So we're gonna try it out. All right, it is completely covered by this pillow, so wish me luck. Definitely a bigger difference than the first time. Look at the burn marks. So this is obviously where the gun was at. This is collateral damage, and that's collateral damage, I'm assuming from the fireball, either from the muzzle or the cylinder, but again, very small exit hole. But that definitely sounded different. I obviously have on ear pro, but quite a bit deeper and more muffled. I didn't hear that loud crack that I did the first time. Still way too loud. A 44 Magnum is not the best caliber to use a pillow silencer on.